Okay, let's take a look at our Module 13, Reporting in Project. So in this particular module, we'll talk about some of the built-in reports that you have available to you, as well as how to customize these reports in Microsoft Project 2007. So the first thing to understand is that there is a wide range of predefined reports available to you, and they will be of different types of reports. One of particular interest will be the Crosstab Report, which you see a definition of here, and this is using a very specific time period for looking at your project data. So one of the ways to really learn about reports is to simply go in with one of your existing schedules and just take a look at the reports, see if they meet your needs, and then if they don't, you can always go in and make copies of those reports and then adjust them as you need to. So we'll obviously go into our existing Microsoft project file and save it as a new file name. And then we'll go in and start looking at some of the existing reports, like in this case the cash flow report, and then we'll actually make a copy of that and make some subtle changes to it. Okay, I have my Module 13 file open, and I'll proceed with saving this as a new file name, and I'll add the my in front of it. And as you can see, this particular project is similar to the one that we were working in the previous module. We have some actuals in here that we're storing, and so now what we'd like to do in this particular section is actually work through printing out and reporting against some of the data that we've been capturing. So where we're going to find the reports is in the reports area. So you'll notice that there's a report and reports option for us. You'll notice that there's also visual reports here. In this case, we're just going to look at reports from the drop-down, from the report drop-down. And so I'm going to go take a look at some cost reports. So these reports here, these buttons that you're seeing, these are basically categories of reports. So once you go into that, you'll then see the actual reports for that particular topic. So in this case, I want to look at costs. So I'm going to click on that, simply hit select, and it's then going to bring out another dialog box that shows me the actual cost reports, and then I can look at them here. So let's take a look at something like cash flow. So I'll click on cash flow, hit select, and then it'll generate that report for me, and then I can zoom into it to get a better idea of what's going on. And as you can see here, as I'm looking at the different ranges, you can see how this is being grouped, and I can easily change this if I need to. Okay, so I'm going to click closer, and it's going to bring me back to this main reports area. So let's say, for example, I wanted to change that cash flow report. So what I would do from this dialog box is I would simply go into custom, hit select, and then from the custom reports dialog box, it's going to show me actually all the reports that I was just looking at. In this case, they're no longer grouped, but I can find the report that's of interest to me. In this case, it's the cash flow report, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to make a copy of it. Right? It's always a good idea to make copies of these existing reports and leave any of the reports or views or really any other object within Microsoft Project alone and just simply make copies of them. So I'm going to click on cash flow, I'm going to make a copy of it, and I'm going to change this to monthly cash flow. I'm going to give it a new name here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change, right, the column area. Notice how I'm looking at 1 week. Well, I can simply change this to months here. Okay. I can also make some other adjustments. I'm going to click on the Details tab, for example. Right. I'm going to clear out the summary tasks. I don't want to see that. Right. I might want to change the date format. Notice that now it's just set to January. That should be fine for us. I might want to shorten that a little bit. I could certainly do that. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the sort area. Notice that it's sorting by ID right now. If I click on the drop down here and I simply hit the first letter, I can then change this to cost, right, ascending or descending. right? I'll change it to descending just so we can get an idea what this is doing for us, right? Then I would click OK, and now I basically have that new report available to me, and I want to take a look at it, so I'll go ahead and preview it, right? And you can see exactly what it's doing. January, February, right, through June. Notice the sorting. Okay. So this is going to be obviously a useful report for you as you start to work with your project schedules. Now at this point I'm simply going to click close to get out of that report. I'm still in the custom reports area, so I can make a decision as to whether or not I wanted to generate some new reports or even create a brand new one with the new button. At this point I'll go ahead and click close to get out of that, and then I'll hit close again to get out of that reports dialog box to bring me back to the main area. Now let's talk about printing the Gantt chart. So this is a particular area of interest for you where you want to basically just print this out. Maybe you want to convert it to a PDF or just work with it with a group with your team to go over some of the details of the actual schedule. So the very first thing we'll do is let's go ahead and change some of the header information of this particular report that we're going to generate, which is going to be of the Gantt chart. So I'm going to go up to File, I'm going to go down to Page Setup, and from the Page Setup dialog box I'm going to click on Header, right? Then I'm going to make sure that I'm in the Center tab, and you'll notice that down below here we have both General and Project fields. So if you click on the General drop down, you'll notice there's a lot of available fields for us, like project title or project manager name, company name, and these are under the general category, and they're typically captured in the property sheet of the actual project. So whatever I want to add here, I can certainly do it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on project title, right, and then I'm going to hit add, right, and I can continue to add as much as I need to. In this particular case I could hit the space bar, for example, and I could add yet another topic here, right, and I can scroll down. I can take a look at some of the other options available to us. In alignment with the book, they're asking us to put subject in here as well, just so we can see that, and then I'm going to hit the add button again. But I made sure that I physically put a space between these two so that my formatting would look proper. Okay. Now at this point I could click on the left or right sections here. Notice that on the right hand side there's already the title. If I click on left, for example, I might want to add something to that. But right now you're seeing that it's previewing this for us, and it's showing us what we're about to look at. Okay. Then at this point, if I wanted to print preview it, I'd go ahead and click on that, and it would show me exactly what this is going to look like before I send it to the printer.